This week, I have something that I train my coaches on inside of my program. So I'm just going to give you a little nugget, a little snapshot of it. And it really is about our money mirrors. Our relationship to money is reflecting back in other areas of our life. And I want to show you the connection that it's not just money, it's how we show up in the world. And the blocks that we have it's not just connected to money. It's not just connected to our relationship. It's connected to our health. It's connected to our friendships. And my intention today is to help you see it so that you can take new actions to get new results, so you can transform it. See, an insight is only an insight until you apply action. Now, let me give you a little story before we begin. I was on a call yesterday with somebody who is just such an extraordinary human being. And I know you're probably watching, I won't call you out, but just big plans, big vision for the world, for churches, for pastors. And there was just something in his way about money and like trying to unravel the whole thing about money. But what I realized is that it doesn't just stop people like him from serving their purpose in life. It stops them from even seeing any possibility because there's so much emotions attached to money and to the fears and the beliefs and all of that stuff. And we're going to talk more about the emotions attached to money next week. But it was really clear when I was talking to him what his blocker was. And I want to share with you, there's 4 kind of mirrors. There's 4 things reflecting back at us. And money, it just really brings it into our attention with velocity, right? When we have these money blocks. It's like it slaps us until we can no longer hide it. We can no longer deny it, especially when you're coaches. If you don't start paying attention to money, I think I said it last week, that it's going to get your attention. And we don't have to live in scarcity and lack. We can live in abundance when we become aware and when we see what is actually stopping us. So there are 4 money kind of mirrors or reflections or blockers, whatever you want to call them. And there's some nicknames that go to this so that you can identify which one you are. So let me just ask you this and type it in the chat right now. Are you a pushover, a procrastinator, a people pleaser, or a pretender? I'm gonna share like the distinctions, but just off the cuff of your head right now, are you like, oh, I'm the people pleaser? Oh, the pretender's a little bit different, right? I was kind of one of those pretenders. You know, those people that minimize their success. They never share about the good things that they're doing or the contributions that they're making, or, you know, money's a little tacky to talk about sometimes, but they definitely underplay. I worked with a woman one time. She was in multi-level marketing. She had a brand new car in her driveway. She won vacations. She was making multiple 6 figures, and she didn't share that with anyone. And she was a pretender. She was pretending that she wasn't successful. So maybe that's you. The people pleaser is pretty self-explanatory, right? You go around making everybody feel loved and welcomed, and you want to please everybody. You want to be their friend. Sometimes when we talk about, you know, personality types, like the supporters, your job really is to accommodate everyone. And what you end up doing is accommodating no one, including yourself. The procrastinator, you know who you are if you're a procrastinator, because you probably have a million things that you want to do and things that you want to achieve, but they're just kind of there waiting for you. And procrastination shows up in a lot of different areas in your life, right? Procrastinating on your health and your well-being, procrastinating on, you know, stepping into your purpose or doing things that will lead you towards your purpose. Now, the 4th one is the pushover. And, you know, I Googled pushover just to see what would come up. And there was an image of a cat with mice all over its head, like kind of looking like, you know, but a pushover is kind of like a doormat. You let people walk all over you. You don't have a voice of your own because you gave that up. You gave that power. So these 4 blocks show up in money, and I'm going to show you how it's related to not just money, but to your business, to your health. So pushovers, right? You might notice as a coach, when it comes to the money conversation, you start backing down on your prices. You offer discounts. Maybe you even will swap services. Hey, I'll do this for you and you do this for me. Some of you might be like, there's nothing wrong with that, Tina. We can swap services. There's nothing wrong with it, but what you do is valuable and what they do is valuable, but there's a different value attached. You transform lives. So if you're like, you know what, I'm going to coach you and you come clean my house, it's not equal, okay? Even though you want to justify that in your head, it's not. But the underlying emotion that really is attached is that you're afraid of rejection. Now, notice if you have this thought, oh, if I lean into this money conversation, they might go away and I won't get this client. Notice if that shows up for you. Notice if you're afraid to reach out to people and just let them know that you're open for business. See, if you're afraid of reaching out, having a conversation with somebody because your fear is they might reject me, this is your blocker. Your blocker is boundaries. You haven't established clear boundaries because you're just afraid of rejection. Now, notice where this shows up in your relationships. Maybe you're single and dating and you're always afraid of being rejected, so you don't have an easy time putting yourself out there. Or with your health, maybe part of the issues that you're experiencing is that you have this cycle of like you gain weight, you lose weight, you feel really good, and then you pull back. That was my thing. I remember one time I was in the best shape of my life and I was going to see a personal trainer for like 6 months. I lost like so much body fat. I was feeling great. But then one person said something to me and it was almost like, one of those like, oh my gosh, you're so skinny. What do? Just starve yourself? That to me was like a rejection in my head. And the next thing I did is I went and gained 20 pounds unconsciously, not knowing, right? So it was like how I was showing up in my business, afraid of people leaving, afraid of people not saying yes, how I was showing up with my health, gaining the weight back when I was feeling really great. I was really afraid of being rejected. That was my thing, my boundary. And I like loaded up with a whole bunch of like my programs. I had so much content and so much great stuff and given it all away. But really what was running my show was just that fear. Okay, so the procrastinator. The procrastinator, your blocker is courage. Now, if you are a procrastinator, chances are you're not taking actions that are moving the needle, not in your business, not in your life, not in your relationships, not in your health, maybe, because procrastinators are really afraid. You might not be aware of this, but the emotion that surrounds you is fear. People are like, no, I just don't want to do it. Okay, consider this. Consider there's an underlying fear, and that's what's really having you not do it. Like when you wait till the last minute for a presentation, if you're, if you're doing a workshop or something and you're really, really afraid and you push off the date, you're like, oh, I'm just a procrastinator. No, really, there's a fear. So when you can start seeing that it's just a fear and a fear is an emotion, you can step outside your fear and you can act despite the emotion. Most people that have this blocker, this mirror, it really stops them from living life full out on the court because everything's off in the horizon. Yeah, I'll get to that. Yeah, I'll do that. And the only way to get value in life is to play full out on the court in life. And same with your business. The only way to grow a coaching business is to feel the fear and do it anyways. Okay. So the next one, the next mirror, the blocker, whatever you want to call it, the people pleaser. Your block is deservability. You don't believe that you deserve to have success. Now, a lot of people that have this blocker feel like they're imposters. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most successful women in the world, has dealt with imposter syndrome. Like, why do I deserve this? Why do I deserve this fame? She goes back to her roots and she's like, why me? The blocker that we experience is deservability. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve I'm not special. I'm not significant. I'm nobody important in the world. And that's just not true. Now, When you have this blocker, how it shows up is I'm not enough the way that I am. I'm not enough. I'm not significant. And when we have this, what we do is we hide. We don't show up on videos. We don't show up online. I remember having an experience where I did a mini workshop, and then I always book calls, like say, book a call with our breakthrough team so you can have a breakthrough in what's getting in your way. And I said, who hasn't booked a call? And this woman kind of sheepishly raised her hand. And I said, why didn't you book a call? And she said to me, I don't feel like I'm deserving of your time. I was just like, oh my gosh, what do you mean? Like, she really felt like I am that insignificant that I'm not worthy of your time. And now you can see that this is when you have this blocker of deservability, you don't deserve to look good. You don't deserve to feel good. You don't deserve a great relationship. It shows up everywhere. Money is just shining a light on it. But when you start noticing, you'll noticing it showing up everywhere. And the underlying emotional current is guilt. You just feel guilty about everything. You feel guilty about spending money. You feel guilty about, taking away from your family. You load up on all of these things, but guilt is a useless emotion after the fact. It serves no purpose. It's just there. You can notice it, but you don't have to let it impact how you show up in the world. Now, the fourth blocker is the pretender. Now, you might notice this if you're a high-end coach that has a high-end fee, and yet you still don't have money. You don't save money. You spend frivolously on things, or you invest in a lot of programs, so you make money and it goes out. So you sometimes feel like you have to. I mean, it's unconscious. It's very subtle, but you might just take the money that you have and invest it someplace else in other programs. Buy new shoes, buy new clothes. You're always searching for the next best thing. Even though you're making money, you're not hanging on to it. And the pretender, your blocker, is love. And you're really afraid that if you have more than others, maybe more than your family, that people won't love you. They won't like you. And there's a lot of shame attached to this blocker. And it really is, one of our primary, well, ecology is always at play, right? Our love, safety, and belonging. We're always keeping those three things intact. And when you have this belief playing in the background that people won't like you if you're more successful than them, that will have you minimize all the success, all of who you are in the world, and you'll play small. Now, if this is you, if you are one of those people that live life in secrecy, you don't like to celebrate your wins, you don't like to share when you get a new client because it might make somebody else feel bad, what's it going to take for you to get over that? What's it going to take for you to show up powerfully as a leader in the world, knowing that you will be calling forward more people that like your message, that like you? And listen, this is the truth. It's not the truth, it's just my truth. And what I've seen is that sometimes your success shines a light on others, and especially their lack of success. And sometimes people secretly want you to fail. And that is just human nature. And I know that might trigger some people, and that's not true, Tina. Notice how it shows up online though. If you have this love block, you're afraid people won't like me, won't like you. What you'll notice is you'll start looking for the trollers that say negative things. You'll focus on that and see people don't like me. So you got to be mindful. You got to be aware. You're going to look for evidence of this to be true. You're going to look for evidence that these things are real, but they're not. And I hope you're seeing the connection. These boundaries, these mirrors, these blockers that you have, they're charged with emotions. Be with the emotions and notice the stories, right? Notice the stories that you're telling yourself that are reinforcing these things. Now, of course, every week I say to you, this is just an insight. It's just an insight until you apply action. See, you can let your emotions stop you from taking action. You can let your feelings of, I don't deserve it, to keep you stuck. But you're all here because you have a bigger purpose to serve in the world. You have a mission. You have something greater than you. Now, when I was talking to this person yesterday, I shared at the beginning of this, if you're catching it a little bit late, such a big, huge mission in life. Huge goals, aspirations, so much to contribute in like a huge, huge way. And I was like, what would it be like if you didn't get over this block that you have about money? What would it be like if you continued to be afraid to reach out and say, hey, do you need some help with that? What is the impact of you staying stuck in this emotion? And asking him that question, I want to ask you that same question. What is the impact in the world when you stay stuck exactly where you are right now? See, because it's not about us. None of this is about us. This is about something bigger than us. And when we allow those emotions it's like chains. The emotions that we experience sometimes are like chains. Until we break the chains, how do we break the chains? We take new actions to get new results. It's likely the way that it's going to be in the future for you. Now, I know that sucks, but it usually gets to the point where you don't tolerate it anymore. Like you can't tolerate it because that mirror, that reflection, the blocks are coming at you. They're hitting you everywhere in your life. And it gets to the point where you either break the chains and break free, or you allow the chains to keep you stuck. That is a choice, my friend. Once you see it, once it's in your awareness, once you feel it, then it becomes a choice. You can choose to stay exactly where you are, getting the same results you've always gotten, or you can choose something different. Now, I'm speaking to mostly coaches, but I know there are some people that are listening that are maybe in multi-level marketing or entrepreneurs or other areas of business where you can see for yourself how you're putting on your own brakes. Choose something different. And if you don't know how, right, you can't see these blind spots, we can't uncover for ourselves. It takes some coaching. And what we do in our programs is we help you uncover where they come from. Where is the source? Why are these still impacting your life? Because if we don't get to the source, if we don't get to like what's so, they just keep playing in the background. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not a stand for that. If it's just a matter of releasing blocks so that you can move on and get on with your life so you can make a difference in the world, then please choose powerfully to get some help to help you get back on your path to something bigger, something greater. There is a link in this video at the top to book a call with our breakthrough team. I'm on these breakthrough calls. You know, Max is on the breakthrough calls. Ryan's on the breakthrough calls. Nina's on the breakthrough calls. Birdie's on the breakthrough calls, because our job is to serve you, to help you see what's getting in your way. What is really having you put on your brakes? It's not tactics, you guys. It's something that you can't see. And when you're willing to see it and you're willing to take bold, consistent action, everything is already available to you. I'm going to say this over and over and over again until you believe it and you achieve it, just like some of our clients are doing right now. So let me know what you're getting from this video. Let me know, what is your blocker? What's the thing that keeps showing up for you? And let me also know, what is an action you're going to take as a result of seeing this for yourself? What are you going to do to make a bigger impact, a bigger ripple in the world? Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you back next week. We're going to dive more into the emotions, and hopefully you can see how easy it is to shift those emotions and be in action. Okay, everyone, I love you lots. I'll see you next time. Bye.